So, Bianca, an understandable side effect of the COVID outbreak has been the public's increased focus on health and the importance of access to quality healthcare. Health and wellness employees' benefits are perhaps becoming more of a priority. However, most small businesses are cutting costs wherever possible at the moment. What is the rationale behind investing in employees in this way?
So, Romany, I think it's especially true now that now more than ever that employers are able to offer their employees some sort of health cover, if nothing else. There's a lot of organizations out there, smaller businesses, bigger businesses that did provide benefits in the past pertaining specifically to healthcare benefits, and it's now simply become a case of it's unaffordable. So we really do urge businesses to take a critical look at their medical cover that they do offer to the employees at this stage. And more important than that, apart from considering to completely cancel cover, just because it's become so expensive, rather look at more affordable alternatives out there. So we've done extensive analysis on the impact of medical scheme cover or any healthcare cover in the private space versus productivity in the workplace and, general well-being. So the whole COVID-19 pandemic has highlighted the importance that employers remain cognizant of the well-being of all their employees, because it's a very simple calculation. An employee who's healthy and who's being well looked after is more productive. We have various models that we work with with actuaries, and we do these calculations for our clients on a regular basis. Now, the moment you start investing in the well-being of your staff, they immediately have better access to healthcare. Firstly, in a private setting, so they don't have to be dependent on going to a government facility and having to sit there and try and wait for an appointment, which could take up to days. So we would really urge employers to look at any level of healthcare, whether it's medical scheme like Health Squared medical scheme or primary healthcare insurance, that at least your employees can go to a doctor when they're ill, they can get better, and they can come back to work. If they don't have that facility or that access to healthcare, the impact, really the knock-on impact it has is long-term, and investing in your employees' well-being, investing in some sort of healthcare cover for them, even if it's partly subsidized, is really investing back into your business. It makes a very big difference to see that how it affects the bottom line. The bottom line of the business is directly impacted by the company's most valuable resource, which is the people working there. So again, it might be an investment or capital outlay immediately, but it does really have long-term benefits that can be quantitatively measured at the end of the day to see what impact has this had on my business in the long term.
You just sparked a thought process there, because one thing I've noticed is that we have a drive, especially in South Africa, where it's almost like we work ourselves really hard. We very often abuse our bodies in that process. We don't take care of ourselves, and so we more often go to work sick for the sake of keeping our job or keeping our employers happy. And I think there needs to become a mind shift, like a change in that mind shift, because yes, you do get more productivity out of someone who is healthy versus someone who's coming into work sick, and then also possibly infecting other people at the same time out of that situation. So there's a lot of fear attached to our mindsets in order of, we better be at work, otherwise we might lose our jobs sort of scenario.
Definitely. And an interesting aspect we've also seen quite regularly is it's a term called presenteeism. Now, again, coming back to the mental and psychological side of things, is when someone has stress at home. They might be going through a divorce, or they might have financial challenges. They might come to work, they're physically fine, but they come to work and they sit there and they stress about this. So the more they stress about this, it kind of snowballs. And again, they don't know who to speak to. They don't want to actually go to the employer and say, listen, I have this massive financial burden that's sitting on my shoulders, and I can't think of anything else. It's kind of stressing me up. I can't work, I can't eat, I can't sleep. And again, an employee is, who's being well looked after, is not only able to access a GP when he has the flu, or go for a COVID test, but he's someone who has access to assistance that goes further, beyond the physical, but the mental has a real impact on employees' abilities to work. So, we really at Health Square trying to go that extra mile and give employees these benefits to ensure that whatever investment employers are making in their employees really do pay off at the end of the day, and that presenteeism aspect, being at work but not being productive, is directly spoken to in that manner.
I can relate to that. I know when I used to work full-time for other people, and when I call them life events, life happens. You can't avoid it. You're going to have difficult relationships. You're going to have fallouts. You're going to have financial stresses. You're going to have all sorts of stuff. You could be stressing about your children, and being able to work in a company where you can openly engage. And I think that's been one of the biggest benefits working for myself and connecting with other business owners. We used to fear talking openly with each other about certain things. We've always got to pretend that everything's good, you must show up and show and have the presentation.
Do your work.
Yeah, and what's been really wonderful working for myself is that, we've started, and because I'm so transparent, that we've had this engagement amongst business owners where we actually do talk about stuff that's going on. And we will just say, I'm sorry, I'm going through a difficult time right now. I just can't speak. I can't function. We say, then you know how to prepare your business and how to do things going forward. So having your staff, having that open dialogue with you, saying, I'm going through a difficult time, actually positions you as the business owner to be able to facilitate that and help and support in whichever way you can. And you can make other arrangements, because often I think what happens is people just say, well, I'm sorry, I can't come to work. And then it's almost like leaving you in a difficult position as an employer. And I think maybe that's something we could all learn from. And I'm really grateful that you're sharing that today, because I think, there's a mindset shift that needs to take place on both from the employer's perspective as well as an employee's perspective.
Definitely.
I just want to say thank you, Eve. Eve says that she, the fine print is a nightmare. Most people on the street don't read or understand it. It should be simplified. What about print for dummies? I need that. Easy to understand language. Go there, do that. I agree with that one wholeheartedly. And good morning, Dirk. Good to see you again with us, joining us again today. So my next question to you, Bianca, is efficiency is of paramount importance to small businesses, and as such as they may not have a dedicated staff member dealing with the administration of employee benefits of full staff at varied levels. Is there a tendency by small businesses to simply avoid it altogether?
Well, definitely. If you think about a business owner and the magnitude of challenges they face on a day-to-day basis, the administration of employee benefits is just sort of added to that massive heap of responsibilities and stresses. So what we do find is that because we're a slightly smaller scheme, and with the agility products added to that, we really try to make it a lot more personalized. And our approach with our clients also involves a lot of our executive involvement. So we invest in those relationships with our partners. I mean, Fasa is just, it's business, and the businesses that you represent is typically those that don't have enormous HR departments who can take on that responsibility. So we have multitude of these smaller businesses on the medical scheme that we've had for many, many years. And it's all about building that personal relationship. We actually have a dedicated team who takes on that administration burden on behalf of our clients. And just to give you an example, when you join a medical scheme or medical insurance, there's usually a lot of forms to complete and application forms, and it's a whole lot of things that need to be done. And we do that all electronically. We're able to assist employers in that sense in making the whole underwriting and application and reception process a lot easier and more streamlined. So this allows the business to get on what they do best, and leaving us to do what we do best, offering quality employee benefits and making it as easy as possible in the process.
Can I ask you, is there an additional cost to that, or does it fall in the whole? Okay.
No, it's part of who we are. It's our core. It's really in our DNA, and it's something we've always strived towards. Everyone does things differently, and we like to think that's where we stand out from everyone else.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Just remind you, if you've got any questions, please ask away. You've got Bianca right now who can answer any of your medical aid scheme questions, and that's very difficult to understand. So there we go. And my last question to you for today is, we'd like to thank you for your time, and any last thoughts you'd like to share with the audience?
Romany, thank you. We just want to say thanks for the opportunity to engage with your members. And we'd like to remind all business owners, as the old saying goes, tough times don't last, but tough people do. The storm will pass, and every single South African needs to do whatever is necessary to get our economy moving, whether it's supporting local businesses or ensuring that we lend a helping hand to employees. We really are in this together, and we appreciate your time, and we greatly value the relationship we've built up with Fasa, and we look forward to working with your members going forward.
Thank you for that, and thank you for such great advice and really opening up a topic that is on people's minds today. We are stressed out. It is different out there. We've had to make a lot of adjustments. A lot of us had to move online to use technologies we're not familiar with, which is another added stress to your well-being. So yes, be mindful of that and open up the conversation. I think really, if we can all just start opening and having heart-to-heart conversations without getting offended, I think we can go a long way to making things a lot better and helping each other going forward, because we are going to need each other. So yes, and as Eve says, you really do need a medical aid insurance these days, because you would not want to go to a state hospital. And so yes, I'd like to end the note on that. If you'd like to get a hold of Health Squared and find out more about their medical aid schemes and what they have to offer business owners, please, we will leave a link in the comment box below where you can get hold of them. And once again, we just want to thank you all for joining us today. And to come into conclusion, whilst it is undeniable that the COVID-19 pandemic is putting South African SMEs under enormous pressure, this resilient and highly innovative local business community is putting up a spirited fight for its survival. The future sustainability of SMEs requires all of us to really get behind them and continuing to buy from and support local businesses wherever possible. And that is so true. We do need to do that. We need to. And there's a lot of good people out there. I've shared a lot of stories and experiences where people are really putting their extra mile, trying to make things to work, trying to make things happen. And so, yes, thank you for all of those who are continuing to contribute to the economy and trying to make it work. Just a reminder in closing that Fasa is a non-profit organization that protects, lobbies, promotes, and develops ethical franchising across all sectors within South Africa, with a specific focus on transformation. Fasa offers membership to both existing franchisors and franchisees who supports and runs ethical businesses. If you want to know more about what Fasa does and what they have to offer, you can visit them at www.fasa.co.za. fasa.co.za. And just a reminder to join us every Tuesday at 10 o'clock to have a discussion on business, franchising, to have a chat with franchisors, and to meet some of the suppliers who are part of Fasa. And until next week, thank you for joining us. Please share and like if you've enjoyed this chat. Thank you for watching. Bye, everyone.